Today's newsletter. Wait, I'm adjusting this just slightly. There we go. Wait, no, let's go this way. Okay, so in today's newsletter, I said I had 5 art journals that I'm working on currently. I lied. I have 7. 7 because I forgot about this tiny little notebook. And I hand bound these little journals out of watercolor paper for towels. So I have, this is some, this is towels. This is what I did for towels. I think this is showing up backwards. I think we get flipped when I do the camera this way. Anyway, yeah. So this is stuff I started for that. And I've still got some pages to go here. But this wouldn't take long to finish that up. I also have this little book. I've been practicing, but this one's strictly faces. So I've been practicing drawing faces in here. And this is one I want to take to the coffee shop. And then I've got, anyway, sorry. So today what I was going to share with you guys is my art go bag. And last year it was really handy. I mean, I've always like tried to keep little pouches of art supplies that are ready to go so I can kind of pack them up and take them with me. It's kind of like the same as knitters. I know a lot of you guys came to me via yarn and knitting and stuff like that. So you have your projects that you can take with you. Usually they're kind of simple and small and portable, like socks or something like that, that you can take with you to go to the coffee shop, to go to Stitch and Bitch or wherever, or to go to take on a road trip. So I kind of try to do the same thing with some art materials, because sometimes sitting down in my studio, I mean, gets to be a bit of a lonely slog. And sometimes I want to get out and kind of take in adventures. I mean, get inspired on the spot. And for a fiber artist, it's kind of important to go ahead and art journal. I mean, I know it seems like a bit of a disconnect, because you're making, I mean, you're making stuff like this. How does this translate into weaving? And I shared with you guys ways that I was referencing my journal as I was pulling together fiber packs, and I'll share that video with you guys in the comments. But yeah, so there's, when you get inspiration, when inspiration comes to you, a lot of times you want to just capture that, and you want to use it in your artwork. But here's the thing, art journaling's fast, and knitting and weaving and fiber art tends to be slow. So a lot of times it's easier to harness the inspiration in the moment in your journal, and then use it as you're coming up with ideas for your fiber art. When you're pulling together your colorways, when you're thinking about textures, when you're just kind of going for a general feeling. Sometimes just flipping through your art journal and just kind of getting a sense of where you're going will help. So that's what I use the art journal for, and it's something we learned in art school. And it isn't, I mean, you can hammer out like the logistics of what you're making, but involving yourself in creative play helps keep you creatively limber, and it kind of solidifies what you like and what you don't like, and you can use it later. I am watching cicadas out the window. It's like They're flying all over the place. And it sounds like, I mean, here in the South, they're like, there's a slight screaming sound in the background, but it's almost like a cheering crowd. I mean, I know a lot of people have kind of complained about it, but because it sounds like helicopters or whatever, or vents, air vents, but it's, oh, look at my hands, they're all dirty. But to me, it sounds like a crowd in the distance. So anyway, saying, yay, go art. All right, so today I was going to share with you my go bags. I'm going to share with you 2 art journal bags, and I'm going to share with you a stitching bag because I'm also working on some fiber collages, and those directly relate to my art journals a bit. And there's something I'm working on to add to the capsule wardrobe, but also to just kind of get into that place of stitching, of hand stitching, and exploring ways that I can incorporate some fiber collage into some of the pieces that I'm doing. All right, so let's start with the art journal. I've got, okay, so mainly this, I carry this pencil bag around with me all the time, and you'll have to excuse this. I've been filling fountain pens, and I tell you, fountain pen ink stains your hands worse than dye does. I'm not even kidding. All right, so this is my pencil pouch, and it varies from, I mean, if I'm going to pick up something to go with me and it's just a book and a pen case, this is it. I've got my little kitty ruler and I've got my water pens. This one's empty, but it has a little bit of water, which I use with my crayons or with my plain watercolor palette, rather than trying to manage a bottle of water and a brush. I just break out these pens. I mean, the brush quality's not like beautiful squirrel brushes or anything like that, but they work just fine. And it's just a really easy way to, hell, I've used these on the plane because it falls under the 3-ounce limit for liquids. Anyway, or half the time they don't even notice that there's water in there. So anyway, I also have some white pens, my toothpick. Oops, there it goes. White pens. I have my big metal Sharpie, my mechanical pencil, and then some little, where's this? This is a brush pen. I'm not that crazy about this brush pen though. There's one I like better and I'll show it to you. But yeah, so I keep this is for adding little details in the art journal, but these colors, I was limiting myself to these colors when I was working on a spread. So I've put those in here for now. Anyway, so that's my main. If I'm gonna pick one up okay, there we go. If I'm going to pick up, hey, Aramis Joseph, I just turned on the comments. Sorry, I wasn't able to see comments. I'm good, yay. So if I'm going to pick up my art journal and a to-go bag, then the first thing I'm going to pick up is this one. But this will also fit into this. And this is my other to-go bag. So this one, for now, has glue stick and whiteout tape, because whiteout tape, I'll use it, oops, sorry. Whiteout tape, I'll use it over dark areas to, let me see if I have a sample here. I'll use it over dark areas and so you can see writing on top of it. I'm trying to see if I have a spread where I did it, but of course I don't remember where that is. It is up here. I'm not sure where it is. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, yeah, I've got, So I've got that to add little lines of white so I can write over it. I've got my watercolor tin, and I've got a photo album. This is just a little cheapy dollar photo album that I'll keep my mixed media papers in. Just little bits that I want to glue in into my journal with my glue stick. And, oh, this is a Sharpie felt tip pen. I like using these better than the microliners. I don't know why. Microliners tend to like dry out fast on the paper for me, and these seem to stay, they're good. I like them. So I just tend to go for the Sharpies, and they're cheap. Microliners are, I mean, I guess, the fat ones are okay, but the thin ones dry out on me so freaking fast. Alright, so that's my one bag. My other bag that I've been taking around with me a bit, and it's because I've been working on that. I've been working on this little book, and that tucks right in here. I've got some big clips to hold my pages open. I've got my absolute favorite pen. This is my Pentel, and it's got a, you can see, it's got like that, a true brush tip. So I love this pen. I've been using it to work on some line work. So I went back into here and drew the thicker lines here. So I've been playing with this pen. I also have to dab my brushes for watercolors and whatever. So I've got some extra of these water pens that I use. I think I have 3 of those here. Yeah, 3. Yeah, different brush sizes. Another one of these Sharpie Pit pens. This is a fountain pen that's kind of designed for just ink, and it's made by Ravelry. It's German, but they used to make this company used to make Ravelry, which is a type of pen that I used when I was in graphic design. So I'm familiar with this brand, and it's a really good graphic brand. So I've been using this to do some of my drawings in lieu of this pen, because I really like, and this is also too, I've been working with some dip pens when I'm at home, because I like doing that. This is extra ink cartridges that goes in this pen. And then I've got, see, a lot of times this stuff I'll put in this container, but for whatever reason I have them just stuffed down in this bag. I've got 2 jelly rolls pens, and that's because they dry out. I mean, sometimes one stops working because it needs to be cleaned up. So while I'm waiting, sometimes if I'm in the middle of drawing something, if this one stops working or gets finicky, I'll move to the second one. Just a plain brush, mechanical pencil, and then I've got my stash of woodies. These are big, fat, water-soluble crayons in these pencils, and they're really creamy. And that's what I've primarily used for the colors in. I just had that book. What is it? In that little book. Oh, right here. That's what I use for the color in here. So it makes good creamy color, and then with my water pen, it turns it into ink. So that's what I've been using for that. So this is a good little go bag. And this is great too if I'm at the coffee shop and people watching, and then I can just work on my faces based on that. And so that's what I have this little bags set out for. White eraser. So, and I love this. I mean, it's just ready to go. So, you know, if I am thinking, I just need to go to the coffee shop, then I don't have to wait. I don't have to, I'm not stopped by thinking, oh, I have to get my stuff together. Yeah, no. This stuff is ready to go. And sometimes I'll even have little kits, like, you know, this whole pencil, you know, all these water-soluble crayons are together in one case. I mean, I can just grab this and go, or I can swap this out for my watercolor palette. So I try to keep things kind of together in little cases to where they're ready to go. And then that way I can just go and go on an adventure and be inspired. Wait, what did I drop that I, oh, my, all right, so then that leads me to my stitch case. And this I have, this is what I've been working on lately. So this is just a little market basket that I had gotten. I got this when I worked at the yarn shop. We were selling these, and this, it's a great project bag. I mean, it's a great project basket to put your knitting in. But instead of my knitting, right now I've got my mixed media patches that I'm working on. So these are little ideas that I've been working on, these little mixed media patches. And this is just scrap fabric, upcycled fabric, and I'm just stitching it together with little, somebody gave me a whole bag of shirt buttons. They were quilters, and they used to use upcycled men's shirts, and so they had all these buttons, and these are great. I've been working my way through using these as just little details. I have yarn that is spun with these in it, this in it. So I've been working on some of these patches. Like here is, I've got to iron this on. This is a cicada. Like I said, there's the cicadas are going crazy right now. And I did a little embroidery stitching on there, on here. And then I'll turn around and do some ice dyeing and get these ready to go. So these, I'm thinking, even if it's just like on a shirt, or a lot of times on the back of a piece, or at the hem. So I'm working on getting some patches together to add to some fiber art that I want to make, my capsule wardrobe. So here's another piece, and this is just iron-ons I printed out. This is copyright free clip art that I found online. But yeah, so, and this is, yeah, just little scraps of fabric that, and what I'll do is I'll over dye it. Now this part right here is where I jelly plate printed it. And I'll over dye this whole thing to try and make it match together like I did here, right? So I'm going to try that. And then here's another one I sewed together. This is some old Battenberg lace, like a something or other, like a doily. And this is an old t-shirt that I had. So I just sewed that on there. So then I'll, this one's ready to hit the dye bath. So I'll put it in the dye bath, and the edges are probably going to be, I mean, the Battenberg lace is going to get wrinkly. The edges are probably going to be more like this. And that's what this is going to be. So I've got several pieces underway. I've got some, I've just been working with lots of iron-ons. I went through my clip art collection. So yeah, I went through my clip art collection and just printed out some interesting little ephemera type stuff. That stays with that. And then I iron them on to patches here, right? And this, I have this little bitty iron that this is a little clover iron. But this does not do as good of a job as just a regular old iron. So what I might do is just like use this to tack on the piece, and then when I get home, go back and just like really iron this stuff on here. So in this bag, I also have, so these are the patches I'm working on. This is stuff that's already been super ironed on. It's got a couple of them. Yeah, some butterflies. Salvador Dali. A snail. Yeah, so I've got some interesting stuff. I don't know if you can hear my dog barking and then getting in trouble. So yeah, so I've got my iron-ons, and then I've got patches in progress. Like this is, here's a piece of sari ribbon that I'll sew onto some of the fabric. Here's some things like some embroidery that I had started to do. I'll sew that into a layer. I like it when I wash. Of course, this kind of came out a little bit, so I might try and iron back onto that again. But I like how the fabric gets all icky on the outside. This is a linen. And what I'll probably do is go ahead and really do a good stitching around the edge to make sure it doesn't fray any more than it already is. And then I have all those little threads. Now I had mentioned it before that I've been going to the thrift store and I've been finding some old embroidery threads. Little pearl cotton. This one's a new one. This is one I bought. But some of this other stuff is like old and a little faded and worn, and I just love the way that looks. So I've got my scrap fabrics of little pieces that I can layer. This is a piece in progress. This is some fabric I dyed, and then underneath it I've got an iron-on patch that's already in there. So I'm doing a Natalie Shannon reverse applique technique on this. And I'll just stitch, I stitch the back, the applique down on there. And then I'll stitch around this again and then over dye it to kind of get those coming together a little more. So I've got my pins, my thread, some scissors, and I've got another bit of this embroidery thread here. This is some of the old stuff. A friend of mine gave me this whole container full of embroidery thread. So, and I'm just, the little bits that I can, I'll use in here. I mean, it's lots of old embroidery thread and some really fun little colors. So I just pulled together some of the stuff in the colors that I wanted to work with. And mostly I've been trying to do cotton and neutrally colors because when it dyes up, I want it, when I do the over dyeing, I'm hoping that it'll kind of make everything mesh together. So I think that's it in this bag. I've got my scraps, my thread, and then I've got my, put this down here. I've got my grandmother's sewing basket, but I don't want to take this whole thing with me in this pouch. So what I'll probably do is find another little container to just take out some of the notions, like my thread waxer, and then some of the needles. And really, other than that, I don't have much that I needed from in here. Thimble. Anyway, yeah, so this was my grandma's. And that's it. So that's me getting my to-go bag ready because I am going to go take some of this on the road with me to stitch in some coffee shops. And maybe days it'll be art journaling, but it's to kind of get out of the house and to get out in an adventure. But probably what I'll also do is if I bring this, I might put just like this in here, with one of my journals. So if I need to sketch something, then I have that where I can just kind of roughly. So that's it. That's what's in my go bags right now. And that's outside of, I have a knit sweater that I'm working on. Well, I say I'm working on it. I stopped working on it when I had to rip back a big cable section. So I've got to sit down and figure that one out. It'll be easy to do. I've done a worse mess up, but I've just put it off. And it's warm, so, you know, I'm not thinking sweaters right now. So that's what I've got. Yay! All right. So thanks for joining me, and I will keep you guys posted on how the patch series goes. And that's it. So I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.